Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live broadcast from New York City. The U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday launched impeachment proceedings against President Biden's top immigration official. The move comes as a bipartisan group. Here at the UN, the U.S. rejected a resolution put forth by Algeria saying that it would jeopardize Washington's negotiation efforts with Qatar and Egypt. The veto comes as a delegation of mediators meet in Qatar to advance the release of hostages and negotiate a ceasefire.
And Maduro insisted that he is still the legitimate president of Venezuela.
Immigration is front and center in this year's election, and it's impacting Americans across the country. With a new caravan of roughly 2,000 migrants heading towards the United States, the debate over border security and immigration reform has only intensified. Many Americans are asking, how do we balance compassion with resources? And
the United Nations marks its 80th anniversary this week as world leaders converge on New York for the General Assembly. But the mood is grim. Wars in Ukraine, Gaza, and Sudan dominate the agenda. Still, the gathering, often called the World Cup of Diplomacy, brings together more than 140 leaders in a rare moment of global focus.
I believe that more military action is inevitable. And also, can you talk to us about the possibility of Iran transferring some of its enriched uranium into Russia? Has there been any talk regarding that? And would you welcome that? Thank you.
Today, January 1st, marks the inauguration of New York City's new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, with a public celebration outside, followed by a formal ceremony just blocks away at City Hall. Critics argue his plans are too costly and too far left for a city facing budget pressures and public safety concerns. Supporters say his election reflects deep frustration with the status quo. Donald Trump's election signals a renewed confidence from investors, particularly those anticipating lower taxes, fewer regulations, and policies that support traditional energy sectors.
Since we are here at the United Nations and there was a meeting regarding Ukraine, how do you see the fate of the Black Sea Grain Initiative? Can Hungary perhaps be a mediator?
Well, if we are asked to mediate, we are
gathering places for fans from around the world, like here at Pier 86, home to the Intrepid Museum, offering a reminder that some of the World Cup's biggest moments happen far beyond the stadium.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. My name is Susan Tehrani from WION. President Trump said that the operations may last about 4 to 5 weeks. I was wondering, is that Israel's assessment as well? Thank you.
As long as it takes.
This does not mean necessarily that the United States wants to get involved. It does mean, however, that the president and CENTCOM need to have options in the regions should the situation get out of hand or the United States decides in some form to take any action. Yeah.
Right, Susan, thanks for joining us on the show. That was the correspondent Susan Tehrani joining us live from the UN headquarters in New York.
At the 9/11 Memorial in New York, the 24th anniversary of the attacks is being marked. Ahead of the commemoration, the memorial's leadership and survivors spoke about how the meaning of this day continues to evolve.
More than 91 million people visit the memorial. It's been a remarkable magnet for people who want to remember, but also for people who want to learn about what happened that day.
Nearly a quarter century later, as people from every corner of the world come to reflect on a tragedy that reshaped international security, foreign policy, and the way nations confront terrorism, the challenge is ensuring future generations in America and abroad understand its impact.
We also rely on the teachers who are not only here at the museum and work on our education team, but also across the world who come to our Institute for Educators and who also rely on our lesson plans to reach new generations. And we find students are hungry for information and to understand what happened on 9/11 because they realize that terrorism continues to be a threat today.
The message is carried most powerfully by survivors like Desiree Beauchamp, who was inside the World Trade Center on 9/11 and now shares her story as a docent at the museum.
Citizens from over 90 countries did die here. And it's one of the reasons I do this and why I'm here as a docent at the memorial. I don't want them to be forgotten. Their names are on the memorial, but they need to be remembered. We need to remember this should never happen again. And as we know, wars continue. Division continues. We have to stop it. And if telling our story is one way, I hope that's the way we do it.
For survivors, the idea of closure is elusive.
there's never closure as far as I'm concerned. You live with it. It gets a little better with each day, but you live with it. There is no closure. At least not for me. That's my thought.
The memorial stands as both a tribute and a lesson, ensuring the story of 9/11 continues to be told for years to come. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION. World is